Hello, everyone. Good day. Happy spring. Slowly, steady, the spring is coming here also to Oslo. And today we have a beautiful new moon. It's a new moon in Pisces in the sign of water. So it is moving a lot with something very subtle and deep inside ourselves, inside our psyche and our emotional body. And pay attention to your dreams. And if you have a special intention, you can set it for this new moon. So you see it manifesting in the time ahead. Today I want to speak about facilitation and integrity. And it is a topic that has been brought in a group where I initially wanted to be part because I thought I found a group of peers and I would co-create and co-found it. But then some dynamics, especially from the leader and the proponent of this initiative, made me think that I don't fully resonate with what I saw happening there. And then I thought, okay, it's not the first time that I get out from something, from a group, from a community where I think I could find something I searched for. And it's mainly something that I was actually longing for, a peer community. Because it's often we tend to share ourselves with others and to hold space for others, but not so easy we find spaces where we as facilitators can be held and testify and supported. So it can be a solitary position or a solitary job, to call it like that, in many ways. And before I explain what I mean and what I think it's important to speak about this nowadays, I want to make you understand what means integrity. And now we have all these artificial intelligence assistants, and you just need to put the word on Google and they give you a definition. And so I'm going to read you. It's a very simple definition that says that integrity is the quality of being honest, having strong moral principles, and consistently adhering to them even when no one is watching. And it involves acting with sincerity and authenticity, ensuring actions align with values, and maintaining wholeness, or, as described by Merriam-Webster, an unimpaired condition. So we speak about integrity as honesty, consistency, accountability, trustworthiness, ethical core, and so on. And it has a lot to do with our values, with our core values, and how we act according these values, what is our vision and how we align our vision with these values and with our own landscape. Am I referring to inner landscape? Because all these values create a kind of moral compass or landscape. And before I'm going to speak a little bit more about integrity and how I perceive it and why I think that in some situations not all facilitators are aware of the need to be authentic and adhere or align to some principles or values. I want to explain something from my own experience. So I'm into this holding workshops for women. I started with women's circles 10 years ago. And when I started, I didn't know very well what I'm going to do it, how, but there was a kind of calling or inner knowing that this kind of work is valuable and needs to be done. And I also saw around me other women doing this, so it was like a whole movement taking place, and over the years it expanded more and more. And along these years as a facilitator, sometimes I have been also invited to co-create, and other times I have been invited to, let's say, contribute to some groups or some initiatives. And in some cases where I had to pay, I was supposed to pay, because not always I accepted to pay something like a fee for the effort of the one supporting me to get in a group of influence, or women empower, women raising the feminine, women trying to raise the whole world all together, and so on. And other times I was offered like a free seat, but then I was explained that I should support the founder of the group in a way or another. But most of the times it was like a very small contribution, and not like a real co-founding work where I could also bring my own initiatives and ideas. And so when I got these invitations, in some of them I first said yes, but then the second or the third time I connected with that person and I started to dive a little bit deeper in what they were offering, something inside me was like an alarm clock saying, pay attention, this is not what it seems to be from outside. And then, in a form or another, I got the confirmation after a while that it was true, that what I was feeling, my gut feeling was telling me, don't invest your time and energy in this, it's not worth it. And to a certain extent, I think I understand why these women, they try to propose all these offerings or strategies to create groups, or to elevate facilitators to a different level, maybe to make them richer or more visible, or motivate them to write books, bestsellers, and so on. So a lot of this is about like a professional help to support facilitators who might think that they are not yet where they want, or they want to have more impact and visibility, earn more money, and so on. And on another hand, I also understand that this is a very easy, pleasant way to earn money. It doesn't mean a lot of effort. Yeah, it might mean that you need to organize something, organize meetings, offer some materials, write materials, and so on, create workshops. But it's not something that is really implies a lot of hard work, or a lot of investment in many different resources. And what struck me every time when I got that gut feeling inside that something is not what it seems to be in what I was offered, what struck me is that I had to check with my own pulse, my own understanding of what it means to be a facilitator, and stay in my own integrity and values, if those offerings were genuine, if those offerings were actually coming from a place of true power for those women first. And I realized in most of the cases that it was not the case. That in reality, I already had everything I needed inside. And even if I'm not having, I don't know, hundreds, thousands of followers or whatever other kind of so-called impact and influence around me, I actually don't need it to do my work and to make it impactful. Because in my own understanding of integrity and honesty, for me, real impact doesn't have to do with numbers and being acclaimed a very powerful and real influencer. Because there are so many influencers nowadays that don't have no integrity of value, and people follow them just because it's a trend or because that person has some hooks that keep them addicted to the contents they provide. And I say this because I understand the psychology of manipulation and how you can create this myth of the influencer from nothing. Social media is filled with influencers that have no real value and no real content, just facades and some words and some videos and so on. And they have really a lot of followers. So for me, this integrity in being a facilitator and offering something of value to other people, it means that I can stay true to myself and I listen. I have that inner awareness about how my body, especially my sacral chakra, because I'm a generator according to human design, so I respond from the second chakra, the chakra that is between the root and the solar plexus. And if my inner sound, my inner responses to the offering or to the proposal is not, a full yes, then I trust that something is not okay, is not aligned for me in that situation. And listening to the body, it doesn't matter that you know if you are a generator or not in human design. That is actually something that I tested over time. So I really speak from my own experience as a human being and as a person who knows how to hold space for other people in a certain workshop or even individual session or retreat or whatsoever. So listening to the answers from the body to the full yes or to might not be yes or no, or it's just no, it's really important. And this situation in particular about being offered something or trying to co-create something with another person is just an example, because you can apply this in many different life circumstances. But to be able to listen and trust the body and understand that, yes, I'm fully aware what I'm going to receive, I'm fully aware of the value of it, and I'm fully aware if I want it or not. This awareness doesn't come by night. And most of the times, because since early times of our life, we have been educated in a certain way. We created some conditioning from parents, from family, from school, from society. Most of the times, this needs to be re-educated. So it requires a conscious effort. And I guarantee you many hours of therapy to start to be aware of the state of the body and how much in alignment the body responses are with your values, with your understanding of how to do the work, and what would you expect from another person that wants to collaborate with you. And the interesting part that once I started to develop this quality or this skill, because it is a skill, you are not born with it, you need to develop it. You need to relearn it sometimes. I also realized that if I don't want to listen to the body, to my sacral energy point, and I say yes, and I rush into something, then the body will always give another signal and say, think twice. Think, see what's there for you. Is it exactly what you want? Do you really resonate? And most of the times it happens that then the second or the third time the body tells me this, gives me this signal, then I say, yes, you are right. And I didn't listen. I should have listened. I would have spared some time and energy not going in that direction. And I tend to think that I am following these values of integrity, of honesty, of consistency in my work. And that is why sometimes I need to say also no. But I would like to see more facilitators, especially the young ones, those who are not so experienced in doing this work, understanding this part that the body and the awareness, the inner awareness about who we truly are or who we truly want, what we can really afford in a collaboration, that they would invest some time in their path in becoming facilitators to get in touch with this reality. And when I speak about the body, I also understand by the body not also the energetic centers. I was speaking about being a generator about the sacral, but for others it's the solar plexus, for example, if they have a different kind of authority. But so I don't speak only about energy centers that can be activated, cleansed, they can then transform energies and the way we relate to others. I speak also about the mechanisms that are hidden in the body and that engage the nervous system. And we all have heard about this fight, the 3 or 4 F, fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, but there is also submit and attach. And when I look around and I notice situations like those that I already explained, where people try to bring together other people in a common effort or create community, and the intention on the surface seems good, but then you start to tap into hidden dynamics if you have this ability, as I have it. Because I also work with systemic constellation and I see how the field moves and I notice patterns behind some attitudes, words, or even ways of doing. And when I see these hidden patterns or dynamics, I also understand that even if the surface is very nice, very well wrapped in many beautiful words, many beautiful content, very uplifting on on this polished surface, behind there is something else. And it's not always something that the person proposing the initiative is aware, because that person might think she's genuine, she or he, in the attempt to create something. But there might be unresolved issues that actually pushes that person to do something because wants to be validated, because wants support from a group, and she thinks that might not get the support if first does not offer the support, or at least what she thinks might be of support. I'm giving an example with she because I mainly work with women. So yeah, I also had some situation with men, but in this case, it was more often with women. And it also might be that some people are so eager to show themselves because they didn't have all this appreciation and recognition in their childhood. And then all those people that they are able to bring together is a kind of recognizing that I'm able to do it and I'm worthy of this attention. So these are all hidden dynamics that those persons probably are not aware, but they play their role, and then actually they can create some consequences that not always are pleasant. And what I would advise both those who give and those who want to receive collaborations or support or co-create something together, that they listen to their body mechanisms, to what is hidden. And if they are not able to see or to hear the message from all these dynamics, from the pattern that are present inside their own body and psyche, I actually advise them to go on therapy and clarify before they go to the next step. Because this is something I would do. I usually do a lot of this. I have my own teacher who has periodically mentorship groups or workshops where we can bring situations from our interaction with clients or about our own life, but more often it's about clients and business. And then we see what's hidden, what is behind that dynamic that was not clear for us, and that could create some issues, not necessarily conflict, but some friction or this sensation something does not feel right. And yes, returning to the aspect of integrity, because I was speaking about it. If we really want to be truly reliable and trustworthy in front of the others, we have to be true to ourselves. And it's no point to do something just because we feel we need to do something, or just because like there is that rush inside saying, yes, you can do it. Now you are on that level of maturity that allows you to pass from just being a facilitator of groups and workshop on the level where you actually facilitate the whole community of space holders. So now you have more responsibility, but you also might have more impact. It doesn't work like that, because it might be that our mind, our ambition, our inner drive says it's possible, I want to do it. But if the body says, no, wait, it's not yet the time, or you are not ready, you need to prepare with more skills or more content or whatever, then it's better to understand why there is a difference between the body response and advice and the mind, or what the mind wants. And accountability is closely related with integrity and with ethics, with showing wholeness of character regarding our own principle, because we need to be accountable and able to say, yes, I'm mistaking, I'm doing a mistake, or I'm a little bit wrong about this and that. And also express very open our doubts in case there is a situation where we need to clarify why we withdraw, or why we don't feel we resonate with something. Accountability and reliability are also important as space holders, but most of all as persons, as individuals, because it has to do with how we respond to challenges and to different opinions and situations where we might not feel we are fully aligned with those, because we have a different experience, because we have different values, or simply because sometimes we don't have enough time or resources. So I wish you to reflect on this, and if you are a space holder who yearns for a community of peers, open your eyes and search for it, because you will find it sooner or later. But don't sell yourself very cheap, and don't overdo, because you are not supposed to applaud or to fuel the ego of anyone, no matter how fancy, interesting, and capable they seem to you. You also have your own skills, resources, and values, and count on them when you make your decisions, and then make an informed decision. But listen to the body too. And I leave you there or here with these reflections about facilitation and integrity. And when you find yourself in a situation where something feels unclear or unstable or not fully aligned, you can connect with me because I have tools and I can help you clarify what's happening there. And I work somatically, and I also work with the psyche and with the emotional field and with the morphogenetic field and so on. So there are different levels of working with this. And for sure, once you gain clarity, then you will know if that proposal of collaboration or that community is the right one for you. I thank you for listening to these words of mine, and I wish you a smooth sailing ahead. I hope flowers will blossom soon in the trees as those behind me. It's a picture from my garden. I have some fruit trees, but they are still, they're not there yet. But this was taken a few years ago and I like it. It feels like spring. Thank you. Blessed be your day ahead and bye.